What is something you can't believe real grown-up people take seriously? Story 1. This is niche but community theater. The drama among grown adults is insane. Worse than when I was in high school. Like y'all, we are singing and dancing and wearing silly costumes. It's not that serious. Story 2. Social media in general. Too many people believe every clickbait headline or buy into whatever trend is taking over. Feels like people can't self-soothe and need the validation or something. It's just weird. Story 3. My dad once told me he believed that 9/11 was a hologram. How can anyone, any age, take that seriously? Like, I'm supposed to take advice from someone who believes in bizarre theories like that? I wouldn't be surprised if he believes in lizard people and spaghetti god. Or, I don't know, we evolved from dolphins. How does any grown-up take him seriously? Story 4. To be honest, most things are not that serious or dramatic as people think. People are willing to die on some really petty hills, and I think most people do it but are just unaware how petty they can be sometimes. Story 5. I think kind of revolting against modern medicine is something that I feel is awkwardly privileged. Like, if I get really sick, emergency medical care can get me while I consume raw eggs, raw milk, raw food. I don't know of anyone who I know is doing the third thing, but I'm seeing weird trends of this type of crap on TikTok or Instagram. And don't get me started on vaccines. There's this weird kind of good faith argument that if someone dies of pneumonia or COVID, that's nature taking its course. But if these individuals die of anything after the modern jab, it's all vaccine-related and untimely. Story 6. Sports, to the extent they do. I love a good game, but grown men seem to get more emotional about sports than anything else in their lives. Story 7. Oh, and astrology. It seriously worries me that I have to be polite about this shit in so many social circles in which people are often also talking about like how to change the world for the better. Story 8. Following your favorite sporting team. Nothing wrong with it, but the people who are fanatical over it baffle me. It is literally just a game, yet some grown-ass people become so invested in them. Story 9. Gossip in general. I live in a small town, and it is maddening how people here are so serious about it. It's not light fun chatting, it's all scandal, and we need to take action. I swear a lot of people's problems would be immediately solved if they just stopped giving a shit what everyone else does, to an extent. Story 10. The idea of there being an afterlife of any sort where some imaginary being gives you a cookie and a condo or torture for eternity as a reward punishment for something you did for a few years on Earth. Story 11. That trans people are trying to convert children into being trans. That they would use bathroom access as a way to do so. That any sort of actionable control ever existed as to who used which bathroom in the first place. That drag queen story hours are designed to make kids gay. That LGBT is a monoculture rather than one identity marker out of many that can impact a person's life experience. That someone who likes to put on wigs and lip sync to earn bus fare poses more of a threat to the safety of children than any given religious institution. Story 12. The number of people, full adults, around the world who believe in palmists, fortune tellers, and the like is unimaginably high. Many of these believers use these services for making big business and government decisions. Story 13. When another person supports a different team, some become super angry. Or when some young boy who just turned 19, 20, fails to score a goal under huge pressure, and then they keep pressuring him 1,000 times more. Story 14. Paranormal videos, ghost hunting, cryptids, and conspiracy theories. Like, you have to have a mind of a child to believe in those. Especially when everything now is conveniently found on TikTok yeet nowadays. HM curious, right? I would say religion is another one. I understand having a belief, but if saying to me that you have absolutely no doubt that your God is real and take it as a literal fact, I just can't take you seriously. Story 15. Feng Shui. People will shit on astrology on Reddit, yet wholeheartedly believe such nonsense like facing your bed towards the door being bad for you, because that's the dead man's position. In fact, any superstition at all. Story 16. I can't believe real grown-up people think that no one in the world should schedule anything on their birthday, or birthday weekend, or that they can't celebrate their birthday a week early, or later. Story 17. Sports. And I mean, as fans, it's fine if they are playing the sport. They are just sitting there yelling at a TV. Meanwhile, criticize gamers for actually playing the game. Story 18. Okay, hear me out, but I can't believe some grown-ups take their horoscopes super seriously. Don't get me wrong, astrology is fun and all. I love a good astrology meme as much as the next person. But when it comes to making big decisions, don't base it on what your zodiac sign says. Story 19. Likes. People who go on their stories and posts and check their likes, make big deal that some friend didn't see / like their photo or commented on them, especially if it is personal account. Likes don't matter. Story 20. Adults who genuinely believe in astrology and make life decisions based on their horoscope. Sorry, but Mercury retrograde isn't an excuse for your bad luck. Story 21. Sports. Come on, people, it's 2 teams of athletes playing a game. There's nothing important about it, and you are fools when you turn it into your religion. Enjoy the game, enjoy the talent, but keep it in perspective. You didn't win or lose jack shit. You're not on the team. Take a chill pill. Story 22. The divider at a grocery store checkout. You could be buying one item and people behind you will not put their stuff down until that little divider is put down. Story 23. Sports, unless they have actual relation to a player or play for a team. People get embarrassingly ridiculous. Grown adults throw toddler tantrums, get violent and destructive, and some people are as crushed when their team loses as they would be if their grandmother passed away. Matter of fact, they'd skip her funeral, or their child's birth if it was supposed to be on football day. I've always thought it was extremely bizarre, but hey, I know I'm not the majority. Story 24. Most everything. Amish witches, other witches, or stone healing, tarot reading, Scientology concepts. Normal religions that expect intervention or individual significance. I know a couple of adults who still think it's their destiny to become rock stars and actors to the extent that they sacrifice other opportunities for it. So main character syndrome, messiah complex? All things a reasonable person should outgrow, I think. Story 25. Astrology. The amount of people who think that the planets somehow affect your personality and destiny or whatever is actually insane. Maybe this is my STEM background talking, but the fact that so many people believe in it when there is no scientific basis for it whatsoever really astounds me. Story 26. When I was young, I knew a bunch of girls that were smart, science-oriented, and all in all not into alternative bullshit. Now, quite a few years later, with quite a few colleges finished, kids popped out, etc. They are buying crystals for energy, using homeopathy and other bullshit, have anti-radiation stickers on their phones, and turning off their Wi-Fi at night, radiatin', while keeping their phones turned on their nightstands. Also lots of 5G fears. I have no idea what changed. Story 27. Likes and friends lists on social media. Had several people literally taking offense with me removing them from my friends list on SM after being in no contact for years. Couldn't believe my eyes they were serious about that. Story 28. Anti-vaxxers. Honestly blows my mind that with centuries of medical advancement, people will listen to a few viral posts over countless scientific studies. Next, they'll be advocating for the return of leech therapy as a replacement for vaccines. It's like we're on the verge of a modern dark age, where critical thinking is swapped for rampant misinformation. How do adults buy into this? Story 29. Sports. It's a damn game. A child's game, really. There are far, far more important things going on in the world than watching grown men toss a ball around. Do I enjoy watching my teams? Sure. Do I know every one of the players' high school and college stats by memory like a lot of guys I talk to? Hell no, don't care enough. Story 30. Giving your young child, 13, a phone. If you didn't want to raise your kid, just say that. My brother's dad gave him a phone when he turned 5, and it sucks because, while yes, it has parental controls, that won't stop some pervert online from friending him on Roblox. Story 31. People getting really mad online if a new TV show or movie in a pretend space franchise offers up an experience that's different from their experience of said franchise when they were 8 years old. The absolute nastiness that these nerds engage in about a TV show or movie is astounding. Story 32. Noah's Ark. So somehow this boat, which was smaller than the Titanic, held at least 7 in some cases, of every animal, as well as enough food for them for a year. Then it eventually landed on a mountain, and all of these animals were able to go back to their home continents, including tortoises which can't swim. The predators didn't starve, and somehow the plants also grew back fast enough for the herbivores to eat. On top of that, none of the animals ended up inbred. That's not even getting into how geography disagrees with such an event. The Grand Canyon being in layers, for example, the flood would have made the whole thing scrambled, and that this usually goes hand in hand with the Earth being 6,000 years old, meaning it would have happened while civilizations such as China were thriving and they show no sign of being interrupted. I grew up around evangelicals. Everybody I knew took this story literally. I just started finding it too ridiculous around 14. Eat it. I'll also add that it plagiarized the Epic of Gilgamesh. Story 33. In response to the new Facebook guidelines, I hereby declare that my copyright is attached to all of my personal details, illustrations, comics, paintings, professional photos and videos, etc. For commercial use of the above, my written consent is needed at all times. Story 34. That you get too old to play video games. Like bro, all middle-aged and older people do is sit and watch TV all day. I'd rather be progressing through a story I can control and have a real connection with. Dumbest shit. Like who cares how you enjoy your free time TF. Story 35. Sports fandom. Picking a team and rooting for a bunch of unknown, completely out of your control players is absurd, and a low-key religion from a psych POV. I'm always flabbergasted when someone wants to talk to me about some player's XYZ stat. But picking a team means a rotating set of players and budget that cannot be relied upon with people from God knows where. I just don't get it. Story 36. Any sort of fantasy, comic book, children's movie? I get that they're entertainment, but the minute you're a 40-year-old man still collecting Darth Vader figurines and going over the top on your collections, well, it's just, to me, silly. Story 37. That hurting others can guarantee you a place in heaven, and people who don't have same faith as you burn in hell. Politician who has done something good once will always do the right thing. That reading bunch of books and citing stats and numbers can replace real-life experience and hands-on approach. Beer is not alcohol. If you can walk after drinking means you can drive. Steroids are safe, and everyone at the gym takes them. Being nice with animals gives you leverage to be rude with humans. Story 38. The pyramids couldn't be built by ancient people. Every time they say modern techniques couldn't replicate it, the key there is modern. 'Cause I know for a fact I could build a pyramid with a massive amount of slaves. Story 39. 5 jobs, I'm serious. People will go out of their way to backstab and hurt coworkers, all to end up laid off, undervalued, and live a mediocre life. It's senseless hatred most people have been brainwashed into for companies who see you as nothing. You'll never live in the same neighborhood or get to send your kids to the same schools as the CEO and shareholders. Why would you put your peers down for people who hate you behind closed doors? It's insanity! Story 40 years ago, I had to tell my adult and absolutely not stupid or naive sister that the Blair Witch Project was not a documentary, and that all the proof on the internet was put there deliberately by the film producers to hype the movie. Story 41. Human ability to halt climate change. It is pure hubris to think humans can affect climate change at all. The Earth has been heating and cooling for billions, with a B of years confirmed, just like all the other planets in the universe. To think humans have affected our planet on a planetary scale in this way is pure hubris and is stupid. Enjoy attempting to tell me otherwise in the comments. I'll get my snacks. Story 42. That people don't believe in evolution because apes and monkeys still exist. They think that by saying humans evolved from apes means a chimpanzee turned into a human, therefore because chimpanzees still exist, evolution is not real. When in reality it means humans were more ape-like, more body hair, stronger jaws, in the past and evolved into being what we are now. Story 43. Sports. I've had so many friends and co-workers have their entire moods dictated by how well whatever team from whatever city they decided to latch onto has performed that week/month/year.